Hi guys, Arthur here from Homeowner DIY. Guys, this is your quick tip of the week. So I'm up here on this flat roof and I'm just going to do a fairly basic inspection here. So first thing, looking at the roof, the very middle here is the high point and then it grades out on either side. So looking at the roof itself, as we go down, it overlaps from the other side. It overlaps the way that this should be. Now, there are no vents on this roof. This house is from 1937. I'm taking it that there were no roof vents before, so I'm not going to debate that on this one. One thing I don't like is this here, where this should have been tucked underneath this one here. So any driving rain is going to hit this and want to work its way underneath. So looking at our chimney here, this was tarred up, which I'm not a fan of, but we have our line here. We got a little bit of cracking here. This I really don't like. The chimney has some cracking. This is not part of the roof, but this should probably be addressed because water is going to work its way in, especially when it freezes. Water getting into here will cause cracking, and then you'll have a bigger problem later on. But it's been tarred all the way around. I mean, the roof is relatively new, so it should be in pretty good shape the way it is. So looking at the other side, we got a gap here, stuff like this over here, cracking here. We've got a crack here, and then we have a crack that comes along, crack right here. So this is what happens when you use tar. I don't know if this was a professional or who did this, but tar is not the best thing to do. If you have nothing else, go ahead and use it. But for the person that did this roof, this is not the correct way to go about this. Now, I'm also in Europe right now, so I don't know what they have for products. It's not going to be the same thing as North America. Alright, so this is the other chimney here. So we have minimal moss. We have some cracking. Again, this is not part of the roof, but it should be addressed at some point. We have a crack here. Water can get into these little areas. Guys, keep one thing in mind. You have to treat a roof basically like a swimming pool, at least a flat roof. If you see anything like this, you're going to have water getting into these areas. When it rains for hours on end, it might as well be just submerged in water. But everything here has been tarred up fairly well. Other than the few minor cracks, I don't really see anything that overly jumps out at me. So stuff like this here, where you have a high point and then you have a pocket, water's going to sit here. So even a few days after it rains, water's still going to be eating away at this. Remember, water is a solvent, so we have a crack here, and this I really don't like. This should be repatched. The way it is no good. Now, this roof is relatively new, so I mean, you shouldn't be seeing this type of thing. Alright, so this is a 3-inch sewer vent. So for this house, you have 2 bathrooms, one on top of the other. So the toilet would be right here. And then it's a rear outlet going into the stack. So this here, there should be a flashing. I don't see one. Up at the top, there's bits of cracking up here as well. I think the reason for all the cracking is they use tar, which is not the correct product to use. Again, I am just a DIYer. I'm not a professional. But for what I've seen, tar is not what you want to use. Other than that, I mean, with the few issues which should be addressed, which I will more than likely address them because I'm already here. The roof is relatively new. For the most part, everything looks to be okay. But guys, if you're going to be doing a roof, tar like this is not your answer to plugging stuff up. So whoever did this, I don't know if they were a roofer or DIY or what, but the issues here right now are not an issue. But of course, how often does somebody jump up onto a roof to do an inspection? So when you see stuff like this, next time you come up here, it might be a year, 2 years, something like that. How much worse is this gonna get? Guys, that's your quick tip of the week.